Thank you. We're off to a hot start because some of you have found out the QR code's not working, that we tested 4 million times before this. I think there's just a ton of sessions going on at once, so just give it a breather and we can hit that again later. When someone walked out of the previous session, he kind of like walked out and looked at us and pointed like this and went to the room. So I said, was it a good session? He said, yeah, but the aircon in there. So at least I think you guys are going to enjoy one part of today. So other guys, my name is Chris Immelman, alongside Kieran Donnelly and our venture partner Abundi. I'm a co-founder of Kwanda. Before I get into it, just like to place Kwanda very quickly, and that necessitates me telling the Abundi story, which in the context of this event, the patriotic nature of the event, it's actually quite a Lekker story. So that wasn't on purpose. No, don't excuse it. I think it's fine. Embrace it. So some of you may have heard of AD Pienaar. AD founded WooCommerce 10, 12 years ago. How many years ago? More? 2007. It's done a few cool things since then, and about 9 months ago, I was chatting to AD, and at that time, he was kind of in between things, and I said to him, is the itch to build back? And he said it was. Like naughty boy smile came across his face, and I said to him, well, what's next? What are you going to build? And he told me how much it was bugging him that this incredible revolutionary technology in AI, all the benefits, economic and otherwise, were accruing to the West and to the States and a little bit in the East, but not to South Africa. And that meant these tools weren't being built for us, and nor were they being built here. And so a lot of the value, or very little of the value, was arriving on our shores. He said he wanted to change that, which is obviously, I said to him, sounds good, but what's your plan? And his solution is Abundi. And what Abundi is, it's a Stellenbosch-based venture studio that raised some money and hired 7 or 8 of the sharpest kids in AI and ML, and they are conceptualizing AI-centric products that they are then going to ship into the market as commercial businesses, as spin-outs. And Kwanda sits as the first spin-out in the studio. So that kind of places Kwanda. It means we've obviously got access to some of the resources within that studio, which is quite cool. So we promised today is going to be practical. It's what we intend to deliver. So I'm going to try keep this short, and we're going to dive into some live demos and cross our fingers that those work well. But because they're real and live. But I'm not going to be like Mafro to run and ask you to put your hands up, but I would imagine most, if not all of the people in this room, use some other ChatGPT or some other LLM in a chatbot type way. But now the catch with a chatbot use is it's a bit of a digital tennis match. You serve up a prompt, it replies to you. You serve up another prompt, it replies to you. And it requires your constant engagement to do any work. It never actually goes and executes tasks on your behalf, doesn't really do anything in the background. And it's exactly this frustration that is leading to what we're calling a bit of a paradigm shift in the AI landscape. And the good news for business owners and operators and individuals is that this shift is where we're starting to see real productivity and efficiency unlocks. So what is the shift? What am I talking about? It's, in short, the shift from generative AI into agentic AI. So let me explain those two terms quickly. Generative AI is ChatGPT. It creates content, often in the case of text, on the basis of questions being asked to it. It then uses prediction and creates content. So you can see it as the thinker. In agentic AI is a bit more of a doer. It actually reasons and then goes and executes tasks on your behalf, often without necessarily needing to be prompted into doing those things. So to use a local analogy, generative AI, when you ask it, tells you for bribery keys you need bread, cheese, onion, tomato. Generative AI slices the tomato, slices the onion, grates the cheese, gets the coals ready. You want me to make some bribery keys? Where we're ultimately hoping this goes is AGI, artificial general intelligence, and then we'll all find out chutney doesn't belong on bribery keys. But we're not there yet. Split the room down the middle. So Eh? And at Kwanda, we're leaning heavily into this agentic AI moment. So we're actively building and deploying to individuals and businesses digital assistants or agents that operate across all the major tools that you would use every day. So email, calendar, Slack, WhatsApp, Telegram, et cetera, And these tools and these agents, digital assistants, are starting to do work on our behalf in many cases. So we've deployed them obviously internally. Both my Kieran and myself have personal assistants that do tasks for us personally. So we've got our own individual instances. So to give you an example, the day before yesterday, I got a WhatsApp from someone asking to meet with me in Stellenbosch. And after 4 messages back and forth, I had all the information I needed to have a meeting, and I took a screenshot of it, sent it to my agent, in this case via Telegram, but it could be via WhatsApp, and I just said, check if I'm available at the time suggested. If I am, book the meeting invite and send it off. Within 5 seconds, it was Werner, who I was setting up a meeting, sent to me, thanks for the invite, got it. It had all done it itself. And we also have deployed one internally for our business. We call it Rassi. And yeah, it's tempting to jump on the hype train and call Rassi already at this stage a digital employee, but frankly, that would be a bit misleading. And candidly, it's not really what we're setting out to build at Kwanda. We don't want to replace humans, we aim to amplify them. And the way we can see that happening is effectively giving everyone in a business access to a 24/7, like head of admin person, which is this agent. So to give you some examples of what it's doing for us, we don't invoice traditionally anymore. If we get a request for an invoice, we don't go to Xero, generate the invoice, etc. manually. We simply forward the email to the email account of Rassi, or we type, hey Rassi, please generate an invoice of 10,000 Rand made out to Steinhoff. I did check if Krista is here before I made that joke. And then it will interpret our text. It goes to our Xero account. If we didn't give it Steinhoff's company details, VAT number and all that, it will go and have a look at, it knows to go and have a look at previous invoices. It will then draft the invoice, turn it into a PDF, attach it to an email, draft the cover email, and tell us that invoice is good to go. And that's where we add the human in the loop by double checking that that's good to go. Invoice hasn't been paid yet, somewhat unsurprisingly, not even Rassi can solve some things. Another example is we have a lot of standard term legals. So every client engagement leads to an MSA and a statement of work. Typically, someone would have to manually go fill out all that information, find the PDF in our Google Drive. We just tell Rassi, listen, make out a statement of work to this company. It will go and fetch the PDF for us, put everything in there, attach it to an email, and draft the cover letter. So I promise practical. That's enough tell. I think it's time for some show. So if we can all together cross our fingers, and no. For that, I'm going to hand over to Kieran. Kieran's a wizard with this stuff. So over to you, Kieran.
Unenviable task of doing live demos. We normally do fake demos. This is extremely risky. It's an untested environment. And I'm going to have to do it with my phone in my hand, as much as I hate that, because this is going to be the tool through which I actually action all of these demos, which is largely what Chris has already mentioned, and a couple of other ones, and you're going to hopefully see me action it and then the results happen. So Chris mentioned a couple of our clients, or one of our clients, but I do like to normally start off with a bit of a credibility show-off, and no one has really heard of us. So just for a little bit of credibility, I always like to start off with a couple of our most recent and happy clients. Obviously, one of the best IT systems in the country, Enron, famous in the 90s. We're very proud of the systems we deployed for them. FTX, something happened to the CEO, the business doesn't operate. And, very proud of that, So, okay. Right, let's get into it. Very keen for some questions at the end. Going to hand over back to Chris when I'm finished here. I'm going to speak to my personal assistant on Telegram, which I've got open over here. I'm going to use voice notes just because typing live is a bad idea. I've got my Telegram instance open here, which I'll flip over to so that you can see that the voice notes I'm sending are actually going to the program, and that gets sent to the bot or the assistant behind the scenes, and it actions some things. So the first one is something Chris referred to, and I, for some reason, had this bee in my bonnet last year that I just hated making invoices, like going into Xero, new invoice, or duplicate the old one, change the reference and the line item and the cost, and then for some reason, like the tax rate would always change back to something I didn't use before, and it probably only took me like an hour a month, and I still wanted to automate it, so I spent 18 hours automating a 1 hour a month task. Yeah, and now I'm very proud to announce, yeah, classic engineer's dilemma that. So finally got myself a job as a CTO, and now I can do that over and over again. So roughly what's happening here is the voice note that I'm sending is actioning an agent that's running on a server somewhere behind the scenes to, I guess, carry out a set of instructions which are packaged in a thing called a skill. If you ask me about that later in the Q&A, I'll be very happy to describe what a skill is. That is largely where the industry is going. The skill tells the system what tools to deploy. So do I go to your calendar? Do I go to your email to look up some information? Do I just use what you've given in the voice notes? And with that, what do I do in Xero? Am I creating a contact? Am I duplicating an invoice, creating a new one, that sort of thing? Then it creates the invoice. It's going to leave it in drafts for this demo, and then I will go to my Xero account, and I can actually show it to you right here. There's nothing in drafts at the moment, and it's going to create that. So I'm going to, for this demo, use an example that the contact is already in our Xero account. For other ones, I'm going to invoke some volunteers, which could be fun later. Right, I need you to draft me an invoice in my Xero account. It's going to be for the client TCH Coaching Services Pty Ltd. This is going to be in the Kwanda organization in my Xero account. And very disappointing. This has got about like a 20-25 second sort of operation time. So let me send the voice note, and hopefully by the time we back up here. Right, I'm just going to multitask here. I need you to create me an invoice in my Xero account called Kwanda. The organization is called Kwanda. And the contact you need to create it for is TCH Coaching Services Pty Ltd. You can set the date to be today. The services we produced 23 websites for them with automation services in 24 hours, which was a company record. And the price was about 33,000 Rand for that, which is an absolute bargain, if you say so myself. So Telegram, we can see the voice note was sent. Done. I've created that draft invoice. We won't focus too much on that message. So let's go to the Xero account. Thanks, Patty. So that's a new invoice. TCH Coaching Services is the client, as you can see top left. Description, produced 23 websites with automation services, company record. No VAT, and total ZAR 33,000. I think I'll send this, and hopefully Ryan will pay it by tomorrow with no questions asked. He normally does. Right, that's the first one. If you have any, let's keep the questions for the Q&A. I'll just, we never know how long the projector is going to last. Okay, lead pipeline management. So we've got a very rudimentary CRM at Kwanda, customer relationships management software or system that we use in Google Sheets. We don't need a fancy HubSpot thing because actually our opinion is that you never need to see your CRM. What this does is it's like just a way of interfacing with it. We can add entries to our CRM after we have a meeting. We can tell the agent, tell Rassi or our personal assistant to look in our emails and add that contact to the CRM based on a meeting we've just had with them. Or a common use case is actually go into the CRM and update the last contact and the need of the client because we had recent comms with them and the needs have changed somewhat. So that's going to be the next demo. And the way I'm going to show this is I'm going to send a voice note, and then I've got the demo CRM open up there. I had to create a duplicate because we didn't want our thousands of clients private information being leaked to the 40 of you here. Right, let's create an entry in our Kwanda demo CRM. The person that I've just met with, his name is Leslie, and they work at a business called Blackburn Limited in the UK, and they were very interested in rolling out personal agents to their full workforce of 30 people for the purposes of making their administrative tasks easier on a daily basis. And essentially what it's doing here is behind the scenes it's using what we call Google Workspace's API. If you've heard of an API, it's a way to interact with software without having to use it graphically like a human would click and type and so on. It's asked me for a couple more information pieces there. Leslie's surname is Fruin, and the email address is leslie@blackburnlimited.com. So the skill or the recipe for handling this CRM management automation that I'm doing is instructed to always request a certain set of pieces of information from me. And in my voice note, I didn't provide all of them. So it's gone back and before it's conducted, adding that entry into the CRM, it's asked me for a couple of confirming pieces of information. So it says, got it, I've added. We're going to go to the CRM, go to the bottom there, and we can see that that has been added. Blackburn Limited, I messed up the columns just before starting this demo, but interested in personal agents for full workforce of 30 people, administrative tasks, so that's super handy. So we do that, update the last time we spoke to that person, and in fact, what we often do is go and look in my email inbox for the email that I just, thread that I just had with this lead, and update the CRM entry for them accordingly. So we're actually very seldom needing to open our CRM sheet anymore. It's a super neat one. The next one is legal document creation. So Chris is a lawyer, handles the legals, but it takes a hell of a long time. He mentioned the creation of an MSA, a Master Services Agreement, and a scope of work, which we do for every client that we onboard. And in fact, every project needs a different scope of work. And so what this one does is we have a set of standard legals, and very, obviously at the review stage, the client can say, change this clause, add that, but that's quite downstream of this process of first sending them the legals, which often takes a long time. You've got to add the scope and the details and the fees and the term all to this template and then create a PDF and send it, get the signature, and so on. So we have a template Google Doc in a shared Google Drive, and when I instruct the agent to conduct this onboarding process, it finds that file, duplicates it, creates a folder with the client's name, puts the duplicate in that folder, fills in 7 pieces of information that have been preset as the variables, if you want. So the scope, the client name, the business, the registration number, the fee, and the terms of the project. And then it saves it as a PDF, attaches it to an email draft in my inbox, and then I go to my inbox draft, and the email is ready to send to the client with the PDF attached. So let's look at this one. Things have gone very well so far, 50% of the way. And I've got high hopes for this one. Let's draft a scope of work agreement for this same client, Leslie Fruin. We managed to sell them on those personal agents for the entire workforce. And the term of this project is 6 months from the 1st of April 2026. You've got the name of the representative. They are the CEO. You've got the name of the business from before. The total fee is £44,000. And let me know what other information you need. Sorry, Chris, that was 32 seconds. On net. So that voice note has been sent. This one takes a little bit longer because there's quite a lot of things that need to happen behind the scenes. But I've explained the process already, and I suspect that this is going to be quite a common set of tools that are invoked for a lot of businesses. We use Google and Google Workspace. Many businesses use Microsoft and Microsoft 365. It's actually hot swappable or very easy to interchange. So as you watch these and think about them, like we've tried to keep them quite generic, like common tasks that like most businesses have, and hopefully you can see how things like this might be applicable to your business. All set, I've generated the statement of work. Okay, so I'm going to go to my drafts here. Currently no drafts, right? Refresh. There it is, statement of work agreement for Leslie. Please find the statement of work agreement attached. At this point I could just modify a couple of words in the email just before I send it. So here's the PDF was attached. I don't know why it didn't load the first time, but let's take a look at that. So that's our business. Blackburn Limited is the client. AI implementation phase 1 is the name of the project. The scope is rolling out personal AI agents to full workforce. Project fees are £44,000, and it's added their name at the bottom for signature and their position. So that's also, we used that for the first time last week. It's super useful. No. Applause from a lawyer. And then the last one, right? So I'm going to go to the audience here, and this is like a calendar management tool. Chris alluded to it. You've just met with someone, you've got a business card, or you don't, or you've got an email in your inbox from them, and you need to set up a meeting with them because you've just had a good discussion and you want to take things forward with them. So does anyone here have a business card that, and I guess the other requirement is that you're going to become a very hot lead for Kwanda, and we're going to pursue you to the nth degree. Okay. Well,
Take me.
okay. If this one doesn't work, we'll go to the next one. So I'm going to have to instruct with a voice note and then tell my personal agent that no, it should be fine. It's a Galaxy 25 Ultra. And then tell my agent to expect an image of the details that it will then use to create the meeting. Right, let's set up a meeting with someone I've just had a great meeting with. They're very interested in rolling out enterprise agents to all 600 of her employees, and at a incredibly low cost of 26,000 Rand a head. And we're going to discuss this sometime next Thursday. Can you find a slot in my calendar for late Thursday morning? And I'm going to send you a picture of her business card after this message from which you can extract the information to set up the meeting. So I'll send that, take a picture. Are we looking at Telegram? Yes. Send that. I'm checking your calendar for late Thursday. Just send over that business card photo whenever you're ready so I can get her email and finish the invite. I hope you have signal in here and access to your email. Louisette, is that correct?
I didn't know you were talking to me.
No, that's good. I didn't address you until the end. I've got it in my calendar already, so looking forward to the meeting.
She's running with something's happening. There's a gentleman by the name of Kieran
Speaking.
sent me an invite.
Fantastic. Yeah. So that was it. So that was one of those ones where we. Yeah, exactly. I'm holding you to the pricing we talked about. Yeah, exactly. And 600 users, you promised. Yeah. Okay, so those are the 4 demos. I hope it's incited a few questions that you'd like to ask us for afterwards. I'm going to hand back over to Chris now. I think it's that's his next.
Most CTOs are like the dorky ones that enjoy talking to computers, and I've got this somewhat personable, which makes me a bit redundant. Those were like quite specific. We try to keep the demos as general as possible. I mean, I'm hoping those are some of the problems that some of your businesses do incur. But let your imagination run wild about, the idea was to show you what is possible with agentic solutions. So let your imagination run wild on what and where in your business these kind of solutions could unlock bottlenecks, help with efficiencies, and that kind of a thing. And I hope you also noticed the interaction between Kieran and the agent at times. So when he didn't give enough information, it didn't just bomb out and say, it asked, I'm still missing those 2 pieces of information. What was also really cool was when he said, I'm going to send you the business card, it didn't do nothing until the business card arrived. It said, okay, let me start so long on checking your calendar for your availability and then you sent the business card, and then it continued with that. So that's kind of how you see this back and forth. So I'm going to wrap up now, but this has gone pretty viral recently. Some of you may have seen it. If you haven't, I'll just explain quickly. So each square represents 3.2 million people. So cumulatively, it's meant to be showing you the world population. You probably can't see here, but all the gray blocks represent people who have never used AI in their personal capacities in any form. Green is your free chatbot users, so guys using the basic version of ChatGPT. Yellow is then pays at least $20 a month for one of the tools, and then the red one is just people using coding assistants. And I would bet that even the people paying for some of the tools aren't necessarily leaning into agentic tools just yet. So it's very easy to feel overwhelmed, feel like you're falling behind because there is so much noise in the space right now, especially in our circles. And I assume the circles you guys are in, but you're still hell of a early. But it is an interesting time to start getting ahead. And so if you guys we are starting to roll out these agents to individuals and businesses. Initially, we're going to start with individuals. So if anyone is interested in having a conversation with us, taking this forward, chatting to us about potential ways an agent can help you in your business, we'd love to have that conversation. I don't know how how our model on that QR code is performing now, but you can scan it. It's going to ask you that's also it's an AI-enabled flow there. It's going to ask you 1 or 2 very basic questions. It's then going to offer that you voice noted or texted one of your business problems, and it will reply in a way that is a bit of a solve. And at the end of it, it'll ask you, are you interested to have a chat with us? And we'll have those chats. Otherwise, if the QR code is still a bit funny, it's pretty simple, Kwanda.ai. So Kwanda at the top there, .ai. Visit that site. There's a contact form there. And we're around for the rest of today to have a chat. I hope that was useful. I hope it showed a little bit about what's possible, got the juices flowing. But I really appreciate you guys joining our talk. Thank you very much. It was Lekker.